Hi, it's Lori Labra, and I want to welcome you to my blog about time management. This is something that all of us often need room for improvement on, just simply because we get distracted with our daily lives and sometimes start doing time wasters or things that are keeping us from being effective and achieving the success that we desire. This can be true whether we're looking to balance and have more time with our families and children, whether or not we want to be more successful in our work, or we're wanting to be more successful in going away, or whatever our particular goals are. So the first thing you're wanting to do is to really think about what your daily purpose is. So if you knew at the beginning of the day what you wanted to achieve that day, you can set your routine accordingly. So this may vary a little bit from one time to the next, but you need to understand what your goal is in order to put forward the routines and the actions you're going to want to do to achieve that goal. So it starts with what's your goal. From there, you're going to want to then evaluate your daily routines to see what are you really doing that's getting you results and what's not. So you may want to have a notepad with you throughout the day to write down how much time you spent responding to things on Facebook, how much time you spent through social media, through, let's say, Instagram or Snapchat, how much time were you on the phone or in one-on-one meetings with people? What were the things that you were doing that were giving you some success or feedback towards your goal? And what were the things that you're doing where you're spending too much time and becoming distracted by responding to things? So that you can plan, which is really the next step, which is setting up a schedule and a routine to help you effectively achieve those goals. So you need a goal. You need to know what you're losing time on and what is actually giving you results. And then you want to set a routine that is going to get those results for you, because you're going to know what actions are actually yielding those results. So it's a bit of self-evaluation here. And that notepad is going to be sort of your, basically your path to success. So what you're going to want to do is prioritize those activities that are giving you the best results. Now, that might be where phone calls are done early in the morning because people are most receptive, and that's also when you're the most awake. People aren't distracted yet with business meetings. Or you may prefer to do some of those things later in the day. So you're going to sort of say, okay, I'm going to schedule this amount of time for this activity, this amount of time for the other. In addition to that, once you've scheduled those times for those activities, you need to be accountable to yourself to actually follow through. So saying I'm going to take an hour each day to work on my mindset or to learn, you actually need to use that hour wisely, not just simply get distracted with your kids coming to see you if you're working from home, or a coworker coming into your office and just sort of deciding to chat. You need to actually settle in and do what it is you set out to do so that you're continuing to move forward towards whatever your goal is. So again, you want to start by having a goal. Then you've got to figure out what are time wasters so that you can get rid of that fluff, or schedule it in. I mean, just say, okay, I'm going to take an hour each day and gossip. And this is the time that I'm going to allow myself to do that, so that I can then use all of these other time to focus on what's getting me results. Then you want to stick to your schedule, and it's also important for the person you're meeting that if you set a time, you need to be there. You need to respect that time with that person. It's a professional behavior, and it's also a way for you to account to yourself that you're actually holding to that time, because your time is precious and you can't get that time back. You're going to have to learn to say no, which means that if somebody's coming to you and saying, like my kid comes and says, I want a snack, I have to say, look, you're 13. You can get up and get it yourself. Or it could be a coworker who comes into the office and asks you to do something that really they can take responsibility for. So you need to learn to say no to things that clearly somebody else can do. Or you say, look, we're going to deal with that later. Just simply because if you start doing things, you don't want to be pulled away from that to do something that you really shouldn't be doing at that point. You can take note of it and address it later, or you can say no, because people really also need to learn to take responsibility for their actions. So if you have partners that are constantly asking you to place orders for them or do things that they should be able to do, well, then maybe you need to be meeting with them to show them how to do it so that they can stand on their own 2 feet and only ask for help in situations that really they should be asking you for help with. In addition to that, you want to be able to delegate. That means that you might use a tool. My husband and I like to use a tool called AnyDo, where what we will do is if there's something that we want to do as an action, I might task him to do that. So I might say, okay, can you follow up with this person? And it sends a request to him, which he can accept. So he's now going to take responsibility for that action. And similarly, he can task things for me. So when you work with partners or you work in a business where you have partners, you can delegate chores or tasks to be done because you really need to rely on teamwork. You cannot be more than who you are. There aren't more hours during the day, but if you're working together, you'll more effectively get to your end goal than if you're trying to do everything yourself. There's other posts and tools like, let's say you like to post on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat, and you have specific posts that are pre-done for you, then essentially you can use certain tools to be able to do that automatically so that you're not sitting there spending time on that if that's something that's important to you and that gives you the results that you want. And lastly, you want to be able to get a good night's sleep. It's crucial for your mental health and your emotional willingness to help people and to feel good about things to really get a good night's sleep. If you're not getting a good night's sleep, then what's happening is you're cranky, you're less effective during the day, you're more likely to become sick, and honestly, you're drinking too much coffee or too much whatever you shouldn't be just to stimulate yourself to do things. So getting a good night's sleep is crucial for you to be able to really effectively get through each day. So basically going back over that again is that one, you need to have goals set so that you can then look at your schedule to set up activities that'll get you to that goal that you've structured for yourself. Then you need to be able to stick to your schedule. It's important for you. You need to learn to say no to things that are going to remove and make your time less effective or schedule time for those things. You're going to need to delegate and work with people to help you achieve your goals, and you're going to need to get a good night's sleep every night. And it may seem impossible, but the fact is that you can learn to manage your time. And once you're able to do that, you're going to be far more effective, far more successful than you ever imagined. Because honestly, you can't buy back that time. And if you can do certain things, you're going to find that maybe it'll take you 4 hours to get all of this stuff done when it used to take you a day because you were constantly cutting out to do something else. So you weren't accomplishing those things. And when you can check off that you've done something, it's in your schedule and you've accomplished that, that makes you feel more confident that you're able to do what you need to do going forward. So I want to thank you for spending time with me today. I look forward to seeing you in my next post, and good luck with your success.